team that he feels like things are slowing down for him and things are getting easier at this point. When you watch him out there or even on film, would you agree that things are slowing down for him now?
Yeah, I thought he did a good job Saturday. You know, they were a little more sophisticated on defense than some of the teams we had played. I think they do a really good job with their scheme. So they gave us a lot more looks to kind of digest, so to speak, and he did a good job of communicating when he came off the field in terms of what he saw or what he was thinking. What he, you know, it seemed to be a more clear idea of what was going on out there and why I went to this guy or why I thought this guy, you know. So whereas before I think it was kind of like, oh yeah, I didn't think that, I didn't see that. But so, you know, I mean, it's obviously, again, he hasn't been playing a whole lot of time, but I think it was the first time that really you could sit there on the sideline and go, okay, we're thinking about this, and he would say, yeah, but they've been doing that, you know, or that type of thing. You know, I do think he was felt pretty good about how he was seeing everything the other day, and there was, I mean, the guy got hit 10 times, which is ridiculous. It was poor, you know, the pass protection was horrible, and so I don't know how long you know, that can continue. It better not, but he's tough, and so for him to see all that with all that was going on in front of him, you know, I thought that showed a lot of guts. I've been saying to you guys how tough and kind of resilient the guy is. That was a pretty good display of it the other day.
Talk about the different formations, the two in particular, the diamond one that you start, I get diamond or inverted,
sure,
whatever you want to call that, and then I guess the three tackles bunched over by the goal line, Heeman coming in.
Right.
We talked before about the different formations, but those two specifically are pretty new, and you know, talk about those.
Yeah, I think we're really just trying to get all our best guys out there. You know, there's a number of times during the games you guys have asked about Isaiah, and you know, you sit there on the sideline and turn around, and either John, Raheem, and or Isaiah are standing behind you, and other guys are on the field that just kept thinking, you know, we got to get these guys in the game, and probably didn't use it as much as would have liked. You know, I don't know. We'll see if it fits this week or not. You know, but I think obviously that's something we could build on. That package, just thinking about getting our best players in there, and then with Heeman, you know, it's a goal line formation, and we're trying to, you know, we have a number of different things we could do out of it, and you know, we just kind of hopefully we get down there enough to kind of expand on it as we go. But I don't know that we executed it great. To me, both of those runs were Hillman all the way. Yeah, he got the ball in the end zone for the last 6 yards there, because I didn't think we blocked him great. I thought there were guys kind of hanging around, but he just, again, like I keep saying, he just has a knack, you know, just like 4th and 1. I mean, he gets the first down. I don't know how. It's a pile of bodies. He gets the first down. We get down there on the 6-yard line, 2 runs, he blows it right in the end zone. So, but anyway, those are things that we're gonna try. You know, we gotta, you know, we need to, you know, it's a, I don't say experimenting, but I think, you know, I haven't been around these guys other than spring ball and camp too. When you get in games with some guys and go, maybe not as quick coming along as we thought. So how about this guy? Let's try it and see. You know, guys that we've seen evidence of can do things. We've told guys, if you're working hard and you show us there's something you can do, we'll try to do it. So that's kind of along that line. I think we'll continue to see different guys in different spots.
You mentioned the pass protection. It's been up and down. We're almost halfway through the season. Do you guys have to make major changes there at some point with personnel or anything? I mean, how does it get fixed, I guess?
Well, I don't think it was that. I mean, I think you just have to block your people. I mean, I think some guys resort to some different techniques at times in the middle of a game. That is something that you hadn't seen ever. And you know, we could sit there and keep everybody in and chip, and you know, we had a number of chips. You know, I think our tight ends do a pretty good job with that. You know, I don't think we're sitting there asking to hold the ball particularly long. And when you totally whiff a guy and he comes flying through the A-gap, it's a little tough for the quarterback. So, and there's a couple of those, even, you know, that took somewhat longer, like the one overthrown to Bo. The guy gets killed as he throws it. He had to throw it. You know, they got a guy in the middle of the field, so it's kind of like, just had to kind of let it go and hope it didn't go too far, but it did. But I mean, if we protect it, you know, who knows if he gets to kind of step into that and target it a little bit better. So, you know, we're, you know, trying everything to, you know, I don't think it's a very complex scheme of protection. In the end, you have to block the guy. I mean, we could try all kinds of, but we can't say, okay, there's 4 rushers, let's get 8 guys and get all these 2-on-1s and then hope that the one guy out there wins. I think we have to block better. That was the biggest disappointment in the game because, I mean, I'm just telling. I don't know how many other guys I've been with would have finished the game at quarterback with the hits he took. And those guys are big guys, and they were coming hard, and some of them were like unabated. And so we have to do better. And we'll try to get a different scheme for it, but there's no magic potion for it. I told them the other day, I'll keep trying to find the plays we don't have to block anyone, or you don't have to win against man, but I don't know what they are. So we'll try.
As you've learned what Art can do and what he can't at this early stage, how does that affect your play calling over the course of the game? I think just the whole week, like just making sure he's comfortable with something. I think it happened a couple times, like in the opener. I went through a couple plays, and he's like, "Nah, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that." I'm like, "All right, but it's Saturday. Like you could have told me on Tuesday." And this was so I think he kind of realized, like, "Hey, I thought you just wanted them in the game, so they're in the game. But now, if I really have to run a play, I don't really know if I love that play." So I'm like, "Well, yeah. So let's get that out, or something else, or whatever you're comfortable with." I mean, there aren't a whole lot of them that you would just say, "Hey, we have to have this," or else, So. And there's always, you kind of get to the end of a week usually anyway, and there's a handful of them that you go, we're not going to run those, So I think it's been better back and forth of, hey, I don't think I'm comfortable throwing that. We had a number of plays last week that we kind of, by the end of the week, just kind of slowly took out. We're trying to streamline as best as possible. We got a lot of, as guys get dinged up and you're putting more guys in the game and you're trying to run these new packages, you got to be pretty tight with what you're doing. Just to follow that up, it seems like you dialed up some more deep stuff on Saturday. Is that a trust factor that you have now that maybe you didn't have weeks 1, 2, 3, etc.?
I think so. Yeah, I think that, again, more being around on both sides, not just the quarterback, but the receivers and who. I could say the who's more important than the plays, and trying to give some guys a chance down the field. I mean, that's what we talked about with this offense, and then really hadn't done as much. For various reasons. One, you could sit there and talk yourself out of any play, I guess, in a game sometimes, and see, oh boy, this could happen, that could happen. But I think it was just a little more of learning the guys a little bit more for me, and just saying, hey, we're not moving the ball unless we hit these plays, and we're not going to hit them all, but we got to try more. I mean, I think that we got to get 6 to 8 of them down the field in a game, at least, to give these guys a chance, and then they have to go get them.
Coach, it seemed like your receivers got more involved. With Shameen and Eddie, are they kind of starting to turn a quarter and starting to click for them?
Yeah, I think so. I like Shameen's been a guy that probably just more for lack of opportunities hasn't shown up as much, but he does. He's the one guy I always point to when we come in here as a team. He does everything right every day. Doesn't say anything. Doesn't say a word. A lot of times on the backside of routes, or he's not involved, or he's not involved for a whole day in camp. He doesn't say anything. He's always doing his job. So we try to move him around a little bit, and more or less reward a guy that we think is playing well, not just to say, hey, well, that's your position, and if the ball's not, we're trying to get things to him. I think Eddie is kind of taking a lot of ownership of that slot position. For a young guy, he's very savvy with football. And it's really important to him. I mean, both those guys are football players now. They're here, they love it. They'll do whatever you ask them to do. They're going to say 2 words about, hey, maybe can I get the ball? There's none of that. But that'll probably come. Hopefully, you have enough success that they can become a pain in it. But anyway, both those guys have done a good job. I like we trust both of those guys in the game.
Well, we're talking about wide receivers. I think Jalen Jordan had the deep shot. I think it was the only snap he played. I know you probably don't get into all the red shirt stuff, but at some point, if you're going to put a guy like him on the field, does he have to be on for more than a cameo appearance?
I think so. I think some of that's on him, in terms of what he can kind of absorb and do to help us that we can trust. You talk about trust, that you can trust that, hey, this guy has this, he can't be experimental and put a guy out there to play and he does something wrong, somebody gets hurt. That's what you. So I think a little bit of is on him to learn it. I think he wants to play. You know, certainly I think you get to a point where you have to decide, you know, how many games you've been in and are we getting our worth here, which is why the rule gives you a little bit of flexibility. Yeah, I'd like to see him out there more. Again, you know, like I said, if you walked in a room and said, who do you want here? For that receiver, you probably would take him first. You just look at him, and he's got the skills to do it. And it's not fair, you know, it's not like it was one and hey, you didn't catch it and you're out. It's just in the flow of the game, you know, sometimes you know, yeah, it's the trust factor, I think, as much as anything. You say, all right, we're going to throw these guys out there again and see what happens, you know. So, but I'd like to see it more. I'd like to have them kind of grasp it better and do more, you know, because I think we'll need it. I don't know if all these guys are going to stay upright. You know, we got 8, you know, 7 more games, so I'd like to see them play more.
Final question. Blackshear, I think he's got a lot of work. Are you okay with, are you hitting the right balance with his touches per game? Does he need more? Does he need less? Is it just right?
I like to get him to him every play. But, you know, I mean, there has to be certain balance of, you know, you watch, like for instance, you know, we throw him the ball on the flat, that play is dead in the water, and it's 3rd and 6, and we're going to kick a field goal, and he knocks, stiff arms the guy to the ground, and 3 plays later, the ball's in the end zone. So that's, to me, is real football. Like, I don't know who else does that. You know, we need more guys to do that. So there was a 30-yard run. I don't know how many tackles guys may miss, whatever. So he's, you'd like to get it to him every time, but then, you know, we're trying to get, you know, Isaiah in and John's situation. John does a lot of good things. And so, you know, that's one spot that we kind of have a number of guys. So we've done, as you know, we're trying a lot of different things in the pass game as a receiver. You know, I would like to see him catch that one deep one. I know that guy was up over his back, but you know, that's a, so there's a certain balance there, because I think if we give him too much, you know, we have to be, I think we have to be pretty specific about, hey, here it is. Like, you know, we tried that. I thought the second play of the game he'd get it. He kind of stumbled starting his route. Otherwise, I thought he'd been in pretty good shape to get it on that. So sometimes it's amped up pretty good to say, hey, the ball's going there, and then something happens, and it's like, yeah, we kind of wasted that one. So, but believe me, when I sit there on the sideline, I like to see him with the ball, you know, as much as possible.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
All right,
Thanks, Justin.
Thanks.